What do you look for when buying a new used car? New to me. Are you in the market for a new used ride? Look no further. In this video, we'll be showing you all the tips and tricks for finding your car of your dreams without getting ripped off. We'll be covering everything from checking for rust to making sure the previous owner didn't use it as a getaway car. That would suck. So sit back, relax, and get ready to laugh as we take you on a journey through the most wonderful world of used car shopping. Before you sign the dotted line, let's make sure you can afford it. First and foremost, a car payment should be no more than 20% of your net income, your take-home pay. Use Edmunds' How Much Car Can I Afford calculator to find your ideal price range. Now that you know your budget, it's time to find your perfect ride. Make a list of all the things you need your vehicle to do. Haul a trailer, go off-road, get great gas mileage, and another list of items you want your car to have. Color, body style, luxury items, add-ons, etc., whatever it is for you. Separating the must-haves from the really wants or would be nice will help you to make smart trade-off decisions. Bringing a friend who knows cars is a surefire way to spot red flags. But if you don't have a car-savvy friend who's available, tell the seller you want to get a mechanical inspection. It might cost you around $150 to $200, but it could save you from buying a lemon and being out of even more money, thousands in repairs. When you're inspecting the car, make sure it's resting on level ground. Leaning to one side might indicate major ongoing repairs, first and foremost. Also, check for underbody rust and leaking fluids. Rust can eat through the doors, floorboards, body, frame, and chassis, and maybe cause later problems down the road. Examine the exhaust system for black spots or greasy grime. White vapor from the exhaust could also mean a blown head gasket or burning oil. These issues are first and foremost something you want to check for and may require replacing the exhaust system, which can cost over $2,000. Checking the frame of the car next is crucial. A damaged frame, if not repaired properly, can reduce the car's ability to protect you in an accident. Look for welds, scratch marks, and check the door jambs. Also, inspect the glass for chips or cracks. Any tiny windshield chip might not seem like a big deal, but it could spread, causing poor visibility or shattering in an accident entirely. Some states have laws making it illegal to drive with a cracked windshield. Does the used car pass the required smog or emissions test? Make sure the vehicle fits the requirements in your area, otherwise you might end up spending a pretty money on something that needs repairs or end up getting hit with a penalty fee. And now for the moment truth, what's under the hood? This is where you'll find out if the previous owner took care of the car or not. Check for rust, dents, visible damage, or even animals living there. Yes, that happens. And don't forget to examine the fenders for decal containing the vehicle's identification number. VIN. If the decals are missing, it's a red flag that the fenders might have been replaced due to an accident. So keep your eyes peeled and your nose ready for any suspicious smells. All right, folks, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the big things, and checking hoses and belts. First up, the radiator hoses. Make sure they're not soft or cracked, or else you'll be in for a wild ride, pun intended. A bad radiator hose, if you think about it, could burst and cause extensive damage to your vehicle. Next up, the belts. Make sure they're in good condition, otherwise you'll be stranded on the side of the road if one breaks, shreds. If your serpentine belt breaks, your vehicle won't be drivable, so make sure that this one is at the top of your checklist when looking at a used car. And remember, a belt that's a little loose is like a shirt that's too big. It'll just keep riding up and causing trouble, making your neighbors look at you. Now let's move on to inspecting the interior of the used car. First things first, take a sniff. Does the car smell musty, moldy, mildewy, smoky? It could be an indicator of water leaks or damage that requires repairs. And let me just let you know, mold is not only a health hazard, but it's also a pain to get out of the car. Also beware of acidic smoke. It could mean the previous owner was, yes, a tobacco user, and you know how hard it is to get rid of that smell. Next up, the seats. They might not seem like the most important item on a used car checklist, but trust me, you want to make sure that they move and they have no unsightly stains or odors. Will you be comfortable driving with the amount of head and legroom that you have? If not, keep on looking. The car might not be for you. Now, let's turn the car on and check for any warning lights. Does any warning light stay lit on the dashboard? A check engine light doesn't mean a serious problem always. It could just be to a temporary condition, such as a change in humidity or an unsecure gas cap. But ask the seller how long it's been on and if the light is solid or blinking. Generally, the latter is much more serious. The mechanic can tell you what's causing the problem by running a simple diagnostic test. Does stepping on the brakes next cause squealing or scraping sounds? If so, the car will require a brake repair or entire replacement. According to costhelper.com, this could cost you anywhere from $130 to $900. Yikes. And who wants to shell out for new brakes, rotors, or calipers right after buying a car? Not me. That's who. Next up, let's observe the car's performance when it reaches different speeds. Any trepidation might mean worn or dirty parts such as ball joints or control arms of the suspension system. Repairs could cost upwards of $1,500. And don't forget to listen for any strange noises when you idle or you first start to accelerate especially. There should be no clunks, pings, pops, knocks, or backfires. If something doesn't sound right, it probably isn't. Finally, test out the heater, air conditioner, CD player, and radio. While everything on this list might seem like a luxury, remember, not only do you want to get from point A to point B, right? But you also want to enjoy the ride. And who doesn't love a good sing-along while driving? So make sure everything works to your liking. All right, folks, let's move on to checking the car's make and model reputation. Search consumer reports, recall alerts, and news articles regarding the used vehicle you're considering. Certain vehicles had mass recalls in the past that, if ignored, could be detrimental to your budget and safety, so make sure you do your research and don't end up with a lemon. Next, find a vehicle history report. They're inexpensive and provide valuable information for purchasing decisions. Reports include details on accidents, flood damage, definitely want to check that out, number of previous owners, VIN verification, actual mileage, and recall checks. If you're considering buying a used car from the dealer, ask to see a vehicle history report from Carfax or similar service. It's like a background check for cars. You never know what you might find. Now, let's cross-check the odometer with preventative maintenance documents. The common perception has been marked that all cars over 100,000 miles is not worth buying. But the truth is, if a car was taken care of, it's very likely that a car can last well over 100,000 and possibly over 200,000. And also, a car with very low mileage might not be a safe bet if it was poorly maintained or infrequently driven. Cars are designed to be operated on a somewhat regular basis, so ask for preventative maintenance documentation. If regular oil changes and other maintenance were done, a car over 100,000 miles will likely last another 100. So move on to checking the tires. Examine them for uneven wear and diminished tread depth. These signs can indicate bad alignment or worn steering and suspension components. And don't forget to check the spare tire's tread too. You'll never know when you're going to have to use it. Might as well make sure it's in good shape first thing. Not having to buy new tires can save you anywhere from $400 to $800 depending on the make and model and tires that you put on it. That's a lot of dough, folks. So make sure you check the tires and be sure what you're aware of before buying used cars, because you don't want to have to be the one caught with bald tires on a road. Trust me, it's not a good look. Last but not least, let's move on to the test drive. Test driving a used car will tell you a lot if it's comfortable to drive and if it's in good condition. So make sure you take it out for a spin before buying it. While on the test drive, simulate the conditions of your normal driving pattern. For example, if you drive a lot of highway, make sure you take the car up to 65. If you're a regular driver in the mountains, test the car on steep slopes and windy roads. What do you notice? And here's a bonus tip. If there's an air freshener hanging inside the car or the interior and it smells like it was recently sprayed with air freshener, open the windows. After your test drive, the car will have aired out and you'll have a better idea of any lingering odors. Because who wants to buy a car that smells like pine tree air freshener for the next 10 years? Finally, let's talk about negotiation. You do not have to pay sticker price. Negotiation is important when buying a used car. Knowing the Kelley Blue Book value ahead of buying the car can also help you negotiate with confidence. Consider any needed repairs and factor that into the cost and offer you make. All right, folks, that's it in our video on what to look for when buying a used car. We hope you found it informative and entertaining. Remember, buying a used car can be a little like dating. You just have to make sure it's the right fit for you before you commit, if you know what I'm saying. And just like dating, don't let anyone pressure you into buying something you're not comfortable with. And as always, a car's not just a car, it's a reflection of who you are. So make sure you get in the car that's reflective of the awesome person that you are. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more helpful videos on all things cars. Until next time, have a happy car shopping experience, and may the car gods be ever in your favor.